You may have changed more than your behavior shows. Your goals are different. Your values are clearer. You have more experience than you had years ago. And yet, in certain moments, you still act like an older version of yourself. You delay the application because you are not that kind of person. You stay quiet because you are bad at speaking up. You over-explain a boundary because you are conflict avoidant. These labels sound like descriptions, but they are also predictions. This is the specific problem that Mindset by psychologist Carol S. Dweck helps illuminate. It was chosen because it shows how a current difficulty can become a fixed judgment about ability and identity. This is not a summary of mindset. We are using one idea from the book to understand why a self-label can keep predicting behavior after your circumstances have changed. An identity label does not only answer, "Who am I?" It also answers, "What will someone like me probably do next?" If you believe you are an overthinker, you expect yourself to delay. If you believe you never follow through, you expect yourself to quit. If you believe you work best under pressure, you expect yourself to wait for urgency. The label becomes a forecast, and once the forecast is in place, fewer responses feel available. Psychology sometimes calls this a self-schema, an organized model of who you believe you are and what behavior feels available to you. That model was built from real evidence. Maybe you missed deadlines under stress, avoided conflict where disagreement had consequences, or were rewarded for being agreeable and low maintenance. The problem begins when a pattern from one period becomes a permanent prediction. "I have avoided difficult conversations" becomes "I am conflict avoidant." "I struggled with a routine" becomes "I am not disciplined." A complex history is compressed into a simple label. Then the label starts organizing your next response. The label creates a prediction. The prediction narrows your behavior. The behavior produces an outcome. The outcome becomes evidence, and the evidence reinforces the label. Label, prediction, behavior, evidence, reinforced label. You think, "I knew I would do this," but the result may not prove what you think it proves. Imagine someone who believes, "I am bad at consistency." They create a rigid routine, miss 2 days, treat the disruption as collapse, and stop. The outcome seems to confirm the identity, but the plan may simply have been too rigid to survive interruption. Past behavior can be real evidence without being a complete forecast. Past evidence matters. It simply should not be allowed to predict every future context as if nothing in you or around you has changed. The old model becomes stronger when contradictory evidence is dismissed. You speak clearly once and say, "That does not count." You complete a project and think, "I only finished because someone was waiting." Evidence that supports the label is treated as meaningful. Evidence that challenges it is treated as an exception. Carol Dweck offers a useful framework for this in Mindset. Dweck examines what happens when people treat abilities as fixed judgments rather than qualities that may develop. A fixed conclusion changes how you approach effort and failure. When you believe, "I am not good at this," a mistake is no longer information about the task. It becomes information about you. Trying again feels risky because another failure might confirm the identity. Avoidance then becomes self-protection. You avoid the role, the project, or the direct conversation because each one could test the identity. This does not mean mindset explains everything. Environment, health, resources, stress, relationships, and opportunity matter. Some traits are relatively stable. The point is not that you can become anything by thinking differently. The point is that a fixed judgment can make your future narrower than the evidence requires. This is why insight can feel so frustrating. You may know why you over-explain or avoid conflict. You may even know where the label came from, but insight can reveal the model without updating it. Affirmations are often too weak because they ask you to believe a conclusion without credible evidence. Saying "I am disciplined" does not change much if your behavior keeps giving the old model familiar data. To revise the model, you need counter evidence, not dramatic reinvention, not a new personality, a specific behavior the old prediction did not expect. James Clear makes a related point. Actions provide evidence for the person you believe yourself to be. One action does not create a new identity. It creates data. If the old model predicts that you will over-explain, a concise response creates new data. If it predicts that you will wait for pressure, 10 focused minutes before urgency creates new data. If it predicts that you will immediately agree, saying, "I'll get back to you," creates a new data. The goal is not to prove, "I am a different person now." The goal is to discover, the old model did not predict every response available to me. Here is a practical test you can run within the next 24 hours. Call it Rewrite the Prediction. First, identify one label. Complete this sentence. I am the kind of person who avoids conflict, overthinks, needs pressure, always says yes, never finishes. Choose one label you actually use. Second, expose the prediction inside it. Because I believe this, I usually expect myself to delay, stay silent, explain too much, wait for urgency. Third, convert identity into history. Replace I am with I have often. I am undisciplined becomes I have often abandoned routines that were too rigid. I am conflict avoidant becomes I have often avoided conversations when I expected disapproval. I am an overthinker becomes I have often used analysis to delay uncertain decisions. You are not denying the pattern. You are changing a permanent conclusion into a description of repeated behavior. Fourth, design one counter prediction. In this situation, the old model predicts that I will blank. I will test blank instead. The old model predicts that I will write a long explanation. I will send 3 clear sentences instead. The old model predicts that I will delay starting. I will work for 10 uninterrupted minutes. Keep the test small. Test one prediction in one situation. Finally, record the result. What did the old model predict? What did you actually do? What did this action prove? And what does it not prove yet? It may prove that another response was available. It does not prove the old pattern is gone. One experiment creates evidence, not a permanent identity. New behavior may feel unfamiliar. It may even feel fake. But familiarity and authenticity are not the same thing. A response can feel unnatural simply because it does not fit the story you have repeated for years. Your old model may once have protected belonging, reduced conflict, or preserved control. You do not need to shame that version of yourself, but growth requires reviewing models built in earlier stages of life. The question is not whether your history influenced you. It did. The question is how much authority that history should have over your next response. Identify one label you use to predict your behavior. Expose the forecast inside it. Then run one small test the old model would not expect. The goal is not reinvention, it is revision. And the next question is not only why you act according to an old identity, it is why your mind keeps selecting the evidence that makes that identity look true. And if you want to go deeper into the framework used in this chapter, you'll find Mindset by Carol S. Dweck, linked in the description and pinned comment. Be prosperous from the inside out.